Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's well. I'm back for another stream today. Hefty day of streaming. Check out a little bit more Shinobi soundtrack there. Thank you very much to the channel viewer Moz1972. He's discovered the problem which caused the line to be drew in the wrong place. Double buffering. If you see, it goes from 68 to 59. Hello, Don Dozzle. Dan Dozzle, sorry, Dan Dazzle. It's too far away my screen. Don Dozzle. Hello, Dan Dazzle. Welcome to the gang. Hello, Moz. Big thanks to you, man. You saved me at least half an hour's worth, possibly 10 hours worth of combing through them lines. Stop this music now. Fame at last, yeah. I've been meaning to thank you for that. I received a donation from Moz as well. I've been waiting till I buy the new microphone with that donation to really give a good shout out about that. But while we're here, I will say thank you again, and let's fix this and hope it does work. I haven't even seen if it works, but I'm 100% sure it's going to work. So today should be this evening should be a fun one because we're going to add the bin in level 2. In fact, let's just close out and put the cheat on for level 1 again. There we go. Yeah, we'll add some bin baskets here where we can pick up a basketball, and of course that'll mean we'll have to add the teacher. He'll have to be roaming around at the very least, so we can chuck the ball at him. But we've added a hold key function. I can no longer just hold the key. I have to, even if I move away, if I'm still holding it, it doesn't work. I have to tap it, tap F to get the heart. It's looking really good. Yeah, very much thank you for the follow, Dan Dazzle. Hope you get some use out of this video. I'm amazed at Moz for finding that error there. Line 3228 of double buffering, if anyone was using the GitHub code. It looks like we're going into the drawing app now. Just to quickly, let's just draw the baskets first. I'll move Streamlabs about so I don't get that perpetual window. I'm really close to that 50 follows now. Oh, did you miss it earlier? Yeah. Yeah, it was a sudden rapid spell of progress where the usual stuff was happening where I was getting stuck on one silly thing. In the end, it was in the collision code, the Y part of it, and I knew that, but I just kept changing little bits and couldn't get it right. In the end, I just deleted the Y bit and wrote it again, and it worked. How big is a bin going to be? I think it's going to be like 1 character cell less than the... Oh god, my phone's recording my voice. It does my head in. I can see it coming up on the screen. Oh well. I think it's going to be 16 width and 16 height, a bin. That doesn't look very big, but... Remember, we can only use black ink because Mikie will be walking in front of it. We could just ore this, so it could be behind any background. Or in fact, just not paint the colour, yeah. Just leave it whatever colour it already is. I guess we'll make that bit black in there. Good old colour clash, yeah, you know it. Does that work, doing that? Kinda looks alright, I guess. Yeah, that's okay. For a first go. Don't know if people will be able to tell what it actually is. But I don't know, something like that. Looks like a crazy bin. God, my art skills are terrible. Let's start again. Oh, is that better? Don't like that. God, it was better before. Alright, that'll do. It's terrible, but it'll do. So I don't want any attributes. And 2's perfect for the width. Okay, moving that stuff about. So I guess I'm just going to stick with the same old strategy of just treating it like another sprite. Pop a file in there. Bin. Oh, I don't like the name bin. Might clash with something. Put a basket. Just paste it in there. Alright, so we want an array of them for each level where they can exist, similarly to the lockers itself. So like I've done with lockers, each level will have its own array of them. In the real game, it does actually have a limited number of balls you can get out of it, but I'm not quite sure how it works. It seems pretty random actually. Like a number just suddenly appears over the bin saying like 4, and that means there's only 4 left. But you can never use them all anyway, the enemies will kill you. Nice one, Coda Mick. Of course, man, will do, when I get round to it. Like I say, most of the time, as soon as I go offline now, I'm zoned out. I'm either sorting out a little thing on my YouTube channel, or I just watching a TV show if I'm not working, you know. So, but I do mean to do a bit more networking. Do we want to bother with a number of a number of balls? I think I'd be happy if you can just walk up to it and take as many as you want. Yeah, yeah, it's not enough hours in the day. The bin can never even vanish either, so there's nothing to do with if it's alive or not. I do need some sort of ball at the front so I can do the 255 thing. Unless I just obviously make sure well, the X is never going to be 255 anyway, so I could do that. Sod it, why not? So the format is just going to be X, Y, width, height. I mean, I already know in advance the width and height as well, but why not put it in there? In fact, yeah, it'll come in handy with collision. We do need that there, really. If we want to add a number of balls, we can always add it at the end anyway. I think that's going to be enough for now. Actually, let's hard code it. No point procedurally laying out the baskets every level. Can work it out from the locker, really. So I just want it on. The first one's 8. Let's get rid of all that 16 stuff. That was just to do with the drawing of the line. I was trying to see about where it was drawing from. I still can't believe you found that. That's a great find. Because I was thinking it was a segment out. Not just one line, not the one bit of memory. So it was obviously getting the memory from the left half, but 10 lines back. I don't know, maybe it was the right half actually, but 10 lines back. 10 half lines. Anyway, 88, but there is an 8 difference, so 96 to 16. Let's just have 2 for now. 14. Brilliant. Just remembering all the steps in it and what order. I mean, first we'll just draw it and we won't check for collisions or anything. I think we need to init the bins. I mean, we've got all these drawer desks, drawer lockers here, so for now may as well just put it under there. Drawer bins, drawer baskets. That's going to of course want IX as usual to be the basket pointer. It's going to do the same old trick where it looks for the 255. It's funny how this is actually the X value now though for a basket, which means we won't be able to use our existing drawer code. We'll have to modify it slightly. Just trying to think of the best way of doing it. I think what I'll do is I'll just write in cool draw sprite 16 by 16, which is not going to work for us. Because, oh, maybe it will. It will work. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, load BC with basket sprite. All this can be optimized because there is, there would be a way of just loading that once and push popping. There's loads of them little things around, but that's a job for another day. So DE, I don't think you can do that. I'm just going to assume you can't do it. I don't think you can. So I'll use A to do it. Of course, it doesn't want to just return there. In fact, it never wants to return until it finds the one. We just want to increment. So load DE. I'm starting to regret putting these all in one place. I could have put them right where I declare the array. I don't know, it has its advantages here. Yeah. Should be all good. Ready to roll. And I think that'll be from the level 2 update. Yeah. So luckily we don't need to colour the bins. I'll draw them just before the player. Don't draw it after. Trying to remember the bins. I think you can just walk straight through them, but maybe you do collide them. Again, we don't need to stick rigid to it. We can make our own version. If I want to just be able to walk through the bins, I'll make it that way. Or the baskets, I should say. It just needs to load IX with basket, L2 baskets. No. So line 204 of spiking. Okay. Oh, huh. Just need to include sprites for or slash basket. Whoops, just loaded it without compiling it. Okay, it's compiled. We can just go straight through level 1. And some bins are just where I expect them to be. That's great. I will make it so that you can't walk straight through the bin. We'll do it in much the same way as the locker, so that you can walk past it like that, but ideally, obviously, we want the exact same offset. So there's the problem for this evening, is to add that, which should be okay because we've got 2 templates of it already with the desk and the locker. But then after that, we want to be able to, if you're colliding with it and looking at it, we might be able to make it so you have to be right here to collect the ball, like here or here. Anyway, we'll come up with some way that if you're in a certain area, press F, and you get a ball in your hand, it just floats around near you. And then you press F again and it flies off at the enemy. So 2 ideas here. I either make a teacher right now, or I do the collision on the bin. Also, firstly, I want to move them lockers. We're not going to have as many lockers as that. Try that. Add more bins eventually as well. That position's all wrong. I like that positioning, but this one's wrong. Move to the right too. Okay, that's good. And then we'll have some bins there. Oh, look at that. That glitch is still there. It wasn't earlier. Perhaps there is another line with the same error. I will have to go through that when I get bored, just to double check. It's quite possible that that error is in the other segment as well. Whoops, it's daisy, I don't want that. Oh god, go away. $59. That's the right one. And that, and that. No, that's wrong. So there's 2. 2 of those, yeah. Yeah, I needed to change it for both. Sorry, dude. Didn't even read that part of your message. Damn it. Or I didn't take it in even if I did read it. Well, we should be pixel perfect now. I see that pixel at the bottom of the screen here, by the way. I do see that. I'm not worried about it. Oh, super duper. That looks so crisp. Perfect. Let me just zoom in. I know it goes out of skew, but then I can actually see it. Yeah, so we've got this pixel down here. Let me show you it briefly. There. That's the only thing now that's nagging me. I don't care about it. Luckily it's in a space where it really doesn't matter. We have actually laid the foundations here now. This is working sweet. It's not that hard to extend it with new sprites. The only thing is obviously adding the AI functionality is going to be tricky. That's not going to be an easy task. But if we just want to add scenery now, that's quite easily done. Same with collision or not, you know, whether it collides or not. And if it was just a person moving, an animated person moving around in the background, left and right, we could do that really easily. Making an enemy actually chase you around is a different ball game. I'm certainly not going to write like code that makes them seek you down immediately. It's going to be quite a lot of randomness to their walking. But I think somehow in the game, it occasionally has them walking towards you. It's strange. I don't think they do just like lock in on you or anything. Again, we'll be making up our own. It's not going to match the exact game at all. It's going to be a much scaled down version. Like the teacher, I'm thinking he's just going to walk around at the top most of the time and chuck teeth at you. But we'll have to wait and see how we perform with it. Right, so we've added the drawing of the bins, baskets, and that's done in level 2 update with the overall draw function being in the spiky main file, which makes sense because if you have more than one level where you want to draw a desk, you don't want it in the level 2 file. So you could think of spiky.asm almost being called like level.asm because we've got player.asm, then we have the level specific one. I could have level, and then that would be in here, but doesn't need it. It's fine here. Right. It's getting long and messy again, and it blocks me from thinking. So what's that highlighted down? Oh, what? Okay. Bin collision, that's what I'm going to do. So, like I said, we've got that. It's getting drawn in there. But if you notice, we're not checking any collision here. We do that in player and player level 2. So that would be a trigger. That's if we want to pick up the ball. We'll probably need that. But let's block it from walking through a bin. It's very much the same as desk. So I'm copying it yet again. And this time we are going to be using target pos. So that means we need to do reset collision. But in that case, before I try and do anything else, I'm going to try and combine these two so that we just call check. I honestly think we can just put it there. Okay, I don't think we need that there now. Or there. Right, let me test that then. No, it doesn't work. So it's lucky I separated it actually. Oh, have you? I'll check the emails, man. Sorry about that. I'm useless at checking them. I've got like 5 email addresses now. I don't look at them. It will be good to me, man. He's bald. Mate, animation's real hard to do, isn't it? I'll put this back and I'll stick with it. There probably is a way of combining it, but sod that. Oh, the return wouldn't help. I don't even need to comment that out, but I will anyway, just in case I was calling it by mistake somewhere else. Still can't move. I mean, I didn't even read the code to see what exactly, why it was split. Oops. Shouldn't be too bad. Just copying the same approach. I just thought it'd be nice to not have to remember to do that in every loop when we make a new level. Only spaceships are the best. Probably will be my next game after this one, a spaceship game. I wonder what you meant by Star Trek. That would be pretty funny doing Star Trek actually. Could have little cutscenes, couldn't you? You could. That's because I was going to say a spaceship game probably wouldn't be that challenging, but then if you introduce like cutscenes, that's all of a sudden mega challenging for me. When I say cutscene, I mean like it stops between the level and like shows you a couple of still images or something. This is going to have to be. Actually, I was going to say, am I going to have to rename that and do it for desks and everything? But it's fine actually. Target pause. I really think it is just a case of copying that desk one then. Let's move them down the bottom though. Don't need that anymore, do we? As well, to make life easier, I should have called this like block collision, because that's what it's actually doing. Some of them are just checking triggers, and others like this are blocking you from moving into that area. But again, it'll be another later date, and I don't think that's needed either. That'd be funny. Could make a game all about Spock. Like Kirk's been kidnapped. He at the end you reunite with Kirk. Don't know why I'm working for it backwards. I don't know who Yura is. Oh, hang on, yes I do. Ahura, of it's called. Bomb attack! Might get banned from Twitch if they just think, what's he making bomb attack references for? This time we are definitely dealing with the target pause. I did change it back, didn't I, to get it working? Yeah, I think so. I'm going to assume all of that's correct. You know, the offsets might need changing, but they might not. I don't think they do. Well, actually, yeah, they will by 8, some of them. Oh, it's all good. It's already set up because it just sets that one ball and that stops us from moving. That might have been why I couldn't move without that. I don't know. Previously defined. 865. Oh, I thought I checked it carefully, but clearly I didn't. That looks good now. As long as we call that. From the same place we were doing it before. Oh, it's in the move function. So it's a bit silly. We should probably put this all into one routine, shouldn't we? Check all collisions, but it should work. No. 865 player. Did I just copy and paste it twice? No. Previously defined. There's two of them. Oh God, I've done a change and replace and I didn't. Hello, Fractal Mike. It's going well, thank you. Hope you're doing well as well. I've done a find and replace. Oh, no worries. I think I can just change it back here. Oh no, got to do. That's the whole point of why I have to do this now. Okay, I think that's going to be alright. Basket, here we go. I hope I haven't failed on that. Could be a rollback time, but I'm not going to bother doing Control Z because I changed a lot of little changes there in a short space of time. I've just saved it to GitHub before I went live, so it's working perfectly on the desks. Seems to be. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. And the door. Not for that though, but the lockers are fine. So that's alright. But no, we haven't gone backwards. I do love that you can't hold because I thought that was going to take me ages to figure out about holding keys. Love it. I did actually make it so that you can get out of this level, but I've just took away some of the lockers, so I need to change the amount of hearts. But why couldn't you? Doesn't seem to notice that whatsoever. Oh, I know why. Oh no. I was. Oh yeah, they're a different format, aren't they? The baskets. We've got to take one off each of them for a start. That might not fix it, but nifty, innit? Yeah, that's a good word for it. I'm well happy with it, to be honest. Especially now you found that problem on the line, because that means there's not even any of them slight imperfections to put up with. Still can just walk straight through that. But luckily the lockers are fine. Of course, we're gonna have to sort that out. I'm just walking around to try and see if it's the offset. You know, if there's anywhere else. I mean, the possibility is the offset is out on the X. No, because I know I'll be able to notice it this side. So it's not. It's just, I don't think it's anything to do with the offset. I think it's to do with me not calling something where, you know, I've just forgotten to call it from somewhere. So if we look at player level 1. Yeah, from the try move function. Do you know what? I feel like I have done it all actually. It's strange. Oh, haha! What a silly idiot. It's the same mistake every time. It's almost like a meme at this stage. Forgot to load the IX register with the correct array. Oh, I don't need to then. Go, Mikie, go, go, go. And there we go. Perfection. I love it. It's taking it's taking shape real fast now. I mean, just to show off, how many hearts? 4 in each one. 16, 12, yeah? No, 16. My maths is so bad. 24, yeah? So I go to level 2. Basketball, yeah, and I'm going to get... the next thing I'm doing is loading your teacher sprite up, actually. Pop him in there. So every level can have its own value for how many hearts it has. Level 2 is at the wrong amount now, so I'll change that. Of course, I could have just wrote 4, the magic number 4 times 6, you know, that's how many there are. That's why my maths brain's so bad, because I've been doing things like that for years now. I don't even bother working out how much it is. I just want to collect them and see if it does let me pass the level. Yeah, same goes if you're facing the wrong way, it doesn't let me collect. So it's quite like the real game, you have to then press up and then do it. It's quite good. Especially if you imagine there's people chasing you, there's benches in your way. Yeah, the door's flashing. And we're out of here. I put it so it goes back to level 1. And actually, because we got the cheat in level 1, we have now got an endless loop of a game. But yeah, it is a beauty. Thanks, man. I'm pretty proud of it, because at many stages I have been thinking about quitting when it got hard. But we carried on. Thanks to you guys spurring me on, really, with your interest. Otherwise I would have 100% quit. I know. It is really annoying on the originals. I'm good at the Spectrum version, funnily enough, but not the C64. And I've never played MAME. It looks fun. It looks more like the C64 one though, the MAME. The Specky one's a little lore of its own. Like the ports. That's one another reason I love the old systems. The ports back then were all just so different from each other. It's not like that now. I did say I was going. Oh yeah, let's have a look at that email. Excellent, found it. Oh, they're looking awesome, mate. It looks almost like LucasArts style stuff. This to me. And there's a ZXP of it. Brilliant. Right, save that. Yeah, it was, and they knew the limitations was different on each system, so they had to actually change it up quite often. Do you know what I mean? Beauty. Right. I noticed last time I put a sprite sheet on as my thumbnail, I got very good traction for that. That video got a lot of views, and I need to go and use the toilet, so I'm gonna just take a very short break, and I'll leave you with Moz's amazing artwork, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. Might even put the old music back on for a second, because I'm gonna use the toilet to get a drink as well. I'll try and leave you with something decent without taking too long. I won't put it on loud, don't worry. Yeah, it's amazing artwork that. It reminds me a lot of like Maniac Mansion and what's it called? even Monkey, you know, all Zach McCracken and all that sort of stuff. I'll leave you a Paperboy quietly in the background while I'll come back in less, you know, just a couple of minutes. Not sure how loud it should be, but that'll probably be alright, won't it? You can always mute it if you don't like it. It goes into Shinobi after if I take too long, but I'll be back before that. See you in a sec. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that's working. Lovely. Sorry about the wait there. Oh, these look amazing though. Yeah, let's have a look at the rest of them. Awesome. Oh man, this is brilliant, isn't it? Shame I can't zoom out. Oh, I can. Brilliant. Let's just start exporting them, innit? It's a Bob side view. Is he called Bob? They're taller, okay. I like the animations. They're fun. They fit the game. Have you ever seen the original, the tap head guy? What's he about? Oh, are you trying to say some of the sprites are taller or something? Because that would look fine, wouldn't it? Sometimes it's hard to know exactly what you mean. But I think that little discrepancy in height will be fine. That will look like give an effect of him walking, won't it? Maybe these would have been even better if they'd done the same thing. I don't know. But that might not even be what you were talking about. 16 by 32. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's brilliant. To be honest, it's exactly the same output settings in here. I'm going to roll myself a smoke, so yet again I'm moving at a snail's pace. The player's only that, yeah, I do realise what you're saying there, sorry you've brushed over that. But the hitbox can be the exact same, we'll just set a different size offset. I know it might cause some confusion, but not a lot. But I'm glad you pointed it out, rather than me just stupidly assuming they're not. They're the same, you know. But it's not going to be a big deal. I mean, worst case scenario, I would have seen it. Their knees would have been, they would have stopped drawing at the knees, and I'd be like, oh, they're bigger. I'll paste one or two in, but then I'm just gonna roll a smoke. Just figuring out what I'm doing here. Got so many screens open. So shall I call him Bob or Teach? I mean, of course it doesn't matter, but I mean, Bob's easier to write than Teacher, isn't it? Bob.asm. Bald Bob. Let me remind myself at what I called the player sprites. Try and match it up a bit. Simples. Oh, this is down, of course. My control buttons stopped working. I can feel it. It's broken, everything. That's better. Oh. So there's nothing in the clipboard. Alright. Okay, there they are. So we still do have to be aware of the memory we're using, clearly. We're getting up to like maybe 10k. But anyway, carry on. So that's, I think I named them last time. I'm going to check and try and match that up. Yep. Oh, hang on, my chat slowed down on my screen right there. I've only just seen all this chat, sorry. Okay, yeah, there's a middle frame that gets repeated. I mean, I will do that. It didn't cause much problem last time, but even if I didn't, it would still look alright for me. But it's easy to change that. The way we done it was pretty nifty. I could do them in any order I wanted, and I could repeat them as many times. But it's so confusing now, and it's so it's pretty long, this code now. So I am confused by it myself, even though I wrote it and I've got it here on my system. But yeah, keep trying. Let's get the sprites in there. That's the first thing. Because if you recall, I didn't recopy that sprite. I still used the same one. Oh, I just done something to it. Thank God for undo. I can remember using Blender, that 3D modeling that went before it had undo. And you'd go on the forum and ask how to undo, and they'd all have a go at you saying, "You don't need undo, just concentrate on what you do." So this is quite a big one, adding a teacher in it like that. This is quite a big one of the bigger tasks. the animated play like character. So there's them. Now this is a really big task because if you look at a player, he has a direction, a state, a current frame, anim timer, position, target position. All of them things are going to be needed for this guy, and more. The only things he's not going to need is the hearts collected. He'll need all of them, most of them. He of course needs all of them. Instead of key press, it'll just be other prompts to move, but he'll still need something there. And he's going to need all that. So I could either write collision checking stuff for him, like this, or I could code it so that he cannot walk there. But this will make it much easier. We can give him commands to walk in a certain direction if there's no collision, so we can just say go up, and he'll just keep trying to walk up until he can. So that's how I'm going to do it. It's going to be very much like a player, but more complicated. I mean, the player is going to get more complicated as well. But we need all of it, unfortunately. Literally all of it. Because a teacher can't walk through a bin, just the same as a player can't. Well, he doesn't need the stool one. Teacher doesn't sit down on a stool. So we just got to get started on it, really. I guess while I've got the art program here, I will copy them all in there. So that was down. Let's do up. Oh god, that's down, isn't it? He could be a ghost teacher. If it's easier to make, I'll make him a ghost teacher. Yeah, so it is lucky you pointed out and reminded me about the 4 using 3 thing, because it makes it easier if I do the middle frame first when I copy them in. I think they are already like that on this occasion anyway. Oh, I haven't done up yet. What I did then. I don't need that garbage it outputs anymore. I mean, it is convenient. It does help. I could have just used the find and replace thing and got rid of them all at the end, and I'm going to do that from now on. Oh, I just pasted the same one in twice. That was a mistake. Yeah, all good. I don't know, being stupid with them doesn't really matter. So I'll get I'll get a Bob Sprite left, but Bob Sprite right as well, because I haven't got left yet. At the end I'll flip the file if it's possible. Right, 0. I wonder if I can do that. Hmm? Doesn't like doing that. The hell? What the hell? That was working up until a moment ago. I've just had an update on this stupid app as well. So I can do that. It can't do comments. Now it can. I've done it before though, where I've just deleted the whole lot. There we go, there. Weird bug. Oh, stupid thing. That'll do. Okay, flip this file somehow. Select and flip. Okay, thanks man. Select the entire 3. Edit, flip. Yeah. Flip horizontal. Pixels. I remember doing that now actually. Save that one first. There we go. Okay, so left. It's gonna be quicker just delete them pretty much. Cleaner. I don't really need comments on this one either, do I? But I've done it now. They can't really hurt. Sweet. A little trick is just to put a bloody semicolon after every one, so you can do that. Although, yeah, not really needed on that. God, what would I have done? Okay. Yeah, that's alright. Okie dokie. But obviously I want to close these, I don't want to be cycling through them. On this one I'll do that little trick. Ones and zeros in the panel on the right, so look. Oh yeah, yeah, I like to do that as well. Oh, why isn't it working? What? See, something's messed up with this. I mean, that's quite cool as well. Right, now I can close them. So we have sprites. I mean, we pretty much want to copy the player to start with, the top of it. Neon version, yeah. Bright orange edition. Thank goodness we got rid of current locker ID. I knew we didn't need that. So all these are going to have to be changed to player door. That's player desk. So let's change these. Oh dear. Alright. So I'll change one with space and then there should just be some brackets around it afterwards. Ha! Go away with it. Whoops. Okay, I think that's going to be alright. I think we can just test it, can't we? Desk. Should be all good. I'll quickly go into level 2 just to make sure we're all good. Okay, so thank you very much for them sprites. I can close that file now and I can move my Streamlabs back over there. That's good. That's going to help me out. Move that over here. Now I can see. God, I am constantly forgetting what I'm doing here. I know we just had the Bob sprite. Oh, I was going to rename all them things, when I, because they are named badly. Because we need one in the we need one for each the player and each other sprite that moves with collision. So hopefully there shouldn't be too many of these ones now. I mean, it's probably wise just to compile it after every one. There you go, look. So that you don't have to do too many at once. It's funny, it helps you trawl through the code in a way when you rename them like this. It helps you just check if anything's not where it should be. So that's just for the level 1 victory. Just change it. No compile. 77 of level 2. It's going to be the same thing, isn't it? Now again, player L2, line 20. We've checked it. Why is that in there, see? Level 1 and level 2. Level 2, 77. Level 2 check victory. Player L2. Check victory level 2. See exactly what I mean there? It's actually helped us spot a mistake. Just by renaming some variables. Now I've just deleted it from player L2. If we look at level 1, check level 1 victory. Check level 2. Perfect. Hopefully this compiles and works. Let's go all the way through the game so that I can get to level 2 and go through that. Should end up back in level 1. This all appears to work so far. But it was the victory conditions I just changed. So. Thing is, I might have changed something in the wrong one and that might have been working for us and I've just deleted it. But it would have been something minor. Come on. Yes. Easy peasy. I mean, of course, when we've finished level 11, we can loop back to level 1. We'd have to have like a value for difficulty and somehow relate everything in the AI to that. And obviously, we'll probably have to put it up so you have to get more hearts, or it takes 2 button presses to get a heart, or something like that. Hello, Microman. Thanks for joining. We've made a lot of progress again. We're adding this teacher right now. You've missed the sprite sheet preview. We're just adding it in gradually, but I'm just renaming some files, some names for variables, because we need to create one for the teacher. Oh god, why have I called it player and then this one plur? I can't be bothered being stingy with the letters. Good. Let's just compile that, make sure it works. Perfect. I'll keep forgetting where I am and what I'm doing. Oh, I'm renaming them stupid variables. Done that one. Rather than go looking, it's easier just to try and compile, and it works. So that was for the stools. Stool still works. So obviously everything for there is in this one file. Heart. Teacher will never actually be able to get a heart. So we don't actually need, same with stool actually, we didn't need to name it. Didn't need to name it that, but I'm going to do it anyway, it just makes it fit in nicer with that one. Makes it nice and easy to see we're in the player class. Looks like we didn't even use this. Oh yes we did. Oh, stool. Did I not save it before I compiled it last time? (11) of player 1. Player 1. Save it. Compile. It's compiled now, so just double check the stool's working. Yep. So we don't even need that. It's annoying that we need that. I'm sure we can get rid of that and do it much easier. Just push straight like we did with the lockers, but let's not worry about that. So like I said, ages ago now it seems, most of the teacher's going to have most of the same stuff as that. Just to get my ball rolling, I'm going to paste the player ones in there. Just start changing it to, it's too difficult to copy and replace. Change player to Bob. Some of these need to be put to lowercase, just to be tidy. Right, yeah. So what did we just bring in? We've got a width, height's wrong. X offset's going to be fine. Y offset, we probably want to add 8 to that. Let's do it like that so it might give us a chance of remembering. It might be wrong. I want to reduce it by 8. I think that's going to be perfect there. Frame size, that's wrong. Is that right? That seems wrong. No, 2 times 32. Which even I can do in my head, but I'll leave it like that. That it's an interesting one, but we don't need it right now. Let's just delete it. He needs all these same things. The thing is, do I want to have like different sets of states for him? Standard attack. Probably all we need, isn't it? Let's leave it for now. It's going to be all good for us, I think. Okay. So where do we start? Well, let's start in level 1 because he appears in level 1 and 2. This guy. Straight away, we want to initialize him just like we do with the player. In each level, he'll have a starting point and a starting state. So I'll leave the player stuff at the top. Just come down and declare the Bob stuff. So I'm fine with these states right now, but I might end up making some more, especially for Bob, like teeth. And maybe one time he's just walking around dumb. Standard maybe is dumb, and then attack is he's actually coming after you. But yeah, let's just get him on the screen. Pathfinding is going to be a bit of a tricky one, but it's going to be quite simple as well. Now we've got the collision done. Well, we haven't yet actually, but we've got it half done. It's really more the same because we've written it in such a way where it should just work the same. That's just a habit that I'm trying to get into, is putting Y first. Don't know, I hate that habit. Right, so this is the start of the game on level 1. I think he starts. The game starts 8 cells down. So I think if I give him a position of 64, I think it'll be alright. Starting X. I think 11 is the middle. Bearing in mind that he's also a width of 1. Let's put him at 11 and see what happens. In initialize level 1, we have to set Bob's values. In fact, let's put Bob up near the player. So then it's another case of doing the same old thing. When I've completed this game, trying to generalize some of this is going to be my next point of focus. It's knowing the limitations of the processor though, innit? I've always been trying to avoid using the processor wherever I can. Not doing any loops if I don't have to. Okay, so that's his position set. Why do we set the player state down there? Oops. We might as well just set it up here when we set the position. Set good old Bob. And I think we've got Bob's state already there. Bob's state. He's default to attack for some reason. I'm sure I put standard. Not that it makes a blind bit of difference because in the knit it gets set to standard. That's where I wrote standard. So he's initialized. Now we just got drawing and he's there. That'll be in this function. There's only one Bob, so I don't need to do IX or anything like that. Bob is much like drawing. Well, is there anything we draw as just a singular thing anymore? The exit sign, I guess. Let's draw him just before the player. If we were going to just try and use our existing sprite drawing code, it won't be ored, you know, so in other words there'll be a frame around him, but that's okay for now. 1632, look, got one. Got one. Go to definition. It's going to want the sprite pointer and his position. Simples. The simple part, or the non-simple part I mean, is because he's got multiple frames of animation. So if you remember, it gets ultra complicated, which was basically the reason we made the player class, because it has a draw function, which is here, that goes all the way down to here, depending on what position he's facing. It picks out the right frame. So we have to look at how we drew the player, just to remind ourselves and not do it differently this time. Okay, simple. Might as well copy that into Bob. It's not ored right now, and that's paint player. And we don't want paint anyway, we want draw. So wait there. Just leave it like that. So I've got player draw and draw player. But anyway, no biggie. I remember doing it now like that. Alright, so here we do have to be a bit careful. Don't want to cock it up and not realise what the hell's going on because it's getting called twice. Firstly that. If we change that. 19 of them. You can only hope sometimes that you don't mess it up doing this. Now we can change that to draw Bob. I think. So a quick skim through them. Yeah, let's go with it. DPU needs, all of them need changing. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Because it's actually DBU. And there's nothing I can do other than change them all. Easy to mess up. What I absolutely have to remember is after I've done this, I've got to go through the entire. I'm only doing labels right now. I'm not even looking at the rest of it. But the beauty of this is it should now, after this, just draw Bob in any state and be easily extended. If we have like a throw-in animation or something. Draw Bob's downs, all good. Obviously all these player references can have to be sorted out. DPD0, DBD0. I don't think I'd get very far in one of these sessions if I did crack the whiskey. I think it wouldn't be long until I was making major mistakes. Probably throwing the mouse at the screen or something. Funny how we've got this attack. I'm not sure we need that here. We probably need something similar to that when he's facing down so he can throw his teeth. At the moment it doesn't need an animation, the teeth can just come flying at you. So we just get rid of that. I think that should be, yeah, that looks about right to me. It probably would be entertaining, but I'd most certainly be working on a copy if I could figure out to do that before I got started on the whiskey. The reason I said that is because I've got it there in front of me and I really did think about just cracking it then. It is. It really is. He's correct. He's correct. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. We've done half of it. DPL0. DPL0. I'm sure there is a way of writing this so that you don't need to copy paste. But if you think about it, it makes it so easy to make adjustments to just one when you do it like this. There's one character, you know, they can all be slightly different. Oh, the attack again. There we go. I really hope I haven't messed this up. I just got a feeling I might have just messed the left one up. Oh, I can still see it. Looks alright. Alright, we've made it through the labels. That's quite a big bulk of it sorted. Not sitting. We don't need to worry about that anymore either. I mean, we could extend the game further than the actual game was, and we could have them go and sit down occasionally if we wanted. But why bother, innit? If seated, let's approach seated. So I think we just delete that. Yeah, perfect. So, load A with Bob direction. There's only one. Oh well. The state's fine. It's just a number. Bob, Bob, Bob. Player current frame. Just 4. Bob current frame. It's funny, it's like almost like painting by numbers when you write it correctly. A level builder. Cool, that would be insane to write one of them on this. I guess not really, because all you're really doing with a level builder, I guess, is setting the positions. The only thing would be is I'd have to have a rigid number for, and also the teacher doesn't have an array, so you'd only be allowed one Bob, a set number of lockers, and then it would just ask you like write in the X position for this, the Y position for this. We probably could make it if we really wanted to. It wouldn't be like very nice to use. It'd be a series of like text questions asking you the position. I mean, I could go one step further and make like a blank level with a locker, and you just press left until you get to a certain position, press enter, it stores that number, you know. But that would be insane. That's like harder than writing a game. I'll be well happy if I can just make it work. Especially if we get the main menu and then the high scores screen. That's when I'll be satisfied that this game's complete, you know, when you've actually got a high score screen, everything. So this is all good. Here's where we get to some of the nitty gritty. And in fact, everything except for one of these is correct. If you remember one of them on the player, I copied them in wrong, so I just changed the numbers. So we'll just have to have a look at that in a minute. Draw sprite is the right size. Position's wrong. Bobby. I think I can get away with just changing that. Bob sprite. So it's this one that's different. So it goes 0, 48, 0, 46. 96. This just seems really cool if this works. I'm quite happy with this. I mean, this is only to draw him. This is all this is doing. We should be able to easily adapt it to paint him. Also, we're calling draw sprite now, and that's not ord. Let's go or it. Oh no, let's make sure it works first. So we have to call. That's the one we want to call from externally in level 1. I think it's in level 1. Let's draw play it there, yeah. So Bob draw. Bob draw, that's the big one. And it seems you don't have to load it with anything. It just goes and gets the sprite. So yeah, it's definitely not the quickest of code, because I think a much quicker way would be to actually set up an offset for your frame. So you could always point at the same. If you notice, we're loading BC every frame with whatever. We figure out what frame we're supposed to show, whether it changes or not. Every flipping frame, you know. But and we do that a lot, you know. It will add up eventually on us. You could, if you were clever enough, load BC with the very first Bob sprite pointer. Not even call it up, just call it Bob sprite, and then know how much of an offset it is for every single frame. That wouldn't be that hard. And then instead of just loading BC, you'd be inking it. But then, I don't know, this is probably pretty quick to be fair actually. You'd still have to load some register with some amount so you could increment. So yeah, actually I think it's horrible looking. I'm repeating myself because I remember saying this the other day, but it looks awful, but I think it is actually pretty quick. Bob draw, we've called it, so let's try it. He should be there. Just stood there. Oh, I've done something wrong here. Level 1, 164. Ah, don't need either of them. Still another error. 46, level 1. Bob X is undefined. Oh, I make the same mistakes over and over. You know, I'm not very my short term all memory is just shot to crap. But I retain certain bits of info. Sprites Bob. In all my years of cruddy coding, I've noticed there's some letters that you use much more often for starting words. B and S are both one of them. It's very strange. And P is another one. But sometimes I notice, big long strings of the same letter, and there is quite a few that don't get used. Just a weird little side fact. Still more errors. Line 21 of Big Bob. Line 21. Jeez. Oh dear, right. Of course, I should have thought of that before I copied and pasted everything. Of course, we need a target position. Well, target POSX can just mean player then. Oh, it's alright. They're separated anyway. I hope. There's only one call to it. Flip. This could be a bugger. I've got to figure out where target pos now. Right. I haven't got that far, that's all it is. I haven't added anything to do with collision to Bob. So I can just, for now, comment them out. In fact, I'm going to put a comment right there as well in a minute because I'm going to search and change the name of them. Whoops. Idiot. Okay, it does now compile. Does Bob appear? Yes, he does. He's the wrong way round. He's been told to stare at the wall. He's been naughty. But he's there and he's looking good. Go give him a bum attack. In his face, moon it. Teabagging. It's a start. It's a good start. So as you can see, that's the reason he's up. But just to demonstrate how the leveler 1 init function will override that, we'll set it in here. But how are we managing? That's quite interesting. When we go to level 2, how does it know to change the player's direction? Do I just do it in here? Direction? No? Weird. Well, I think with Bob, I'll just put so you should just face down now, regardless of what we set his initial value at. And he does. Look at that, it looks like adventure game quality graphics in an arcade game. Bob's getting bummed, yeah. They're flipping the tables, man. It's normally him doing the bumming. I mean, it's undeniable now. The progress we're making here is pretty goddamn good. I'm trying to think. I don't think we're bothered about checking collision with the teacher, because if you collide with him, it's game over basically, isn't it? So I don't need to worry about blocking, collision prevention. I guess the next task is to make him walk around. Mikey will ear bum you if you let him. Teabag. Yeah, let's make him move about. Let me think if I missed a step out. I draw the player. Do I have to like reset anything? Do I have to remember? Check picked. No, we're perfect. We just draw him and check his collisions like we would a player. Funny enough, does Bob want to behave differently in level 1 and level 2? Because we've got like a level 1 and level 2 for our player, as well as the player class. And it might make sense to separate Bob into his own folder and do the same. But that would only be if we wanted to behave differently. Of course, his paths are going to be different for level 1 and level 2. But other than that, it's a tough one to decide. But just to be different, I'm going to try and do it all in Bob. So he's going to behave the same in every level. Oh, we've got to change that name. What was that film called? Scum. And they get bum attacked, don't they? Have you seen that? It could be like Spikey is scum, and he's the one doing the bumming. That's gonna be okay. Yeah, it is a funny movie. Like at the time when I first saw it on VHS, I thought it was one of the best movies ever made. But if you look back on it now, it's kind of weird and British, especially with the end scenes that I was just talking about. But I do love it still. My brother had that on VHS. I remember that was one of the first like crazy like over 18 movies I saw. Right, I've changed the name. I'm going to quickly compile again, just make sure everything's okay. And it's not. I thought that might happen. That's good, I checked. There we go, so we're not going to have any naming conflicts. Yeah, it did date not too well, but it's still cool. I used to love it back in the day. And literally everyone's seen that film and knows what you're on about when you say about it. Like, on the other hand, I watched Alien 1 not that long ago, and that has aged amazingly, I think. It actually feels like you're there in a spaceship quite a lot of the time. Like some of the newer ones, I like them, but yeah, that's one of my faves too. I've watched the whole series and of course all the spin-offs and that as well, and I loved all of them in their own way. Well, I liked them all in their own way, but it seems to me the newer they get, the worse they are. It's quite a good example. Terminator's a bit like that as well, isn't it? Another good example. They just seem to get gradually worse. I think Alien's a bit better than Terminator, the new stuff. But yeah, it doesn't help all the CGI, definitely. But they've got no imagination in that Alien, the latest one. Such a boring concept. Like they could have gone any way they wanted. They had years to do it. Bit of a shame. Have I managed to compile? No. And level 2, of course, same problem. Oh, it's the same. Shame it doesn't remember what I last wrote in there. It gets whatever it finds in the file. Fair enough. At least it remembers that bit. Right. Finally, we're there. Just checking it collides. What would we really changing there? Player's target pods. So we'd be messing up with the desks if it was wrong. That was just so that we can use the same philosophy, or the exact same code, and just change the name from player to Bob. But first I want to get him moving, don't I? So that's what I was saying, wasn't it? Should I make Bob's behaviour level 1 specific and level 2, which is a mild inconvenience when you first write it, but of course it's a massive help if you want him to behave differently. I'm wondering if even the Pathfinder might require us to split it. So in the player class, it does the collision checks. I'm not going to do them yet. I'm looking at how it moves. We do try and move, don't we? And that's what we need to do here as well with Bob. But this is done in level 1. And the reason is because it's checking desks and that. So we are going to have to do it. Because it either checks desks or it checks lockers, not both. So we're going to want to make a folder called Bob. Move Bob into there. Remember to go to Spiky. Change that to Bob. Using my Jedi memory skills. If Jedis have indeed good memory skills, I don't know. But I guess they probably do. We're not doing collision yet, so I'm not going to get waylaid with all that. We're not painting. We're creating a new file in here called Bob underscore L1.asm. And that's it. Bob is literally your teacher. Now we can start just copy pasting again. My favourite friend. In fact, I'm going to copy a lot of it, the entire file. This is set up quite cleverly, if I'm honest. It's getting quite good. I'm starting to understand the layout of the code the more I go through it. So when I say understand it, so that I can actually just reproduce it quickly and remember the steps almost. It's changing player to Bob. I'm thinking the best way of doing that now. Fine. Just change that to Bob. That needs to be player specific now. Also, reset collisions check. Bob. He doesn't have to collide with stalls or the door. Exactly. They know already when they walk out that door that everything's done. Again, we're not worried about the stalls. Bob state. Let's not worry about it at all that for now. We will want to worry about this, but we will want other states. It's all we could get away with using these. It doesn't matter. It will just help to have other states. I mean, we could easily just remember that sit for Bob means doing something else if we wanted to. But right now, I think I can delete all of it. But I'll leave these two. And of course, that's got to change to the word Bob as well. So Bob update attack does nothing, and that's the same as our player right now, but we knew that. Our draw code does discover that we're in the attack state and draws the attack frame of animation, but it does nothing more. But we will want to attack with both Bob and the player, so I'm going to leave it there. We don't want to do key presses. It's got nothing to do with key presses anymore. We still want to call try move. We're going to have to name them again, unfortunately. It's Bob try move. We could probably just get away with leaving the player one just called try move. I might go back later and change it. And yes, I should have used the old trick up there. I think it's quicker because I've now got to do it here as well. Rightio. It's pretty goddamn smooth right now. Now, if you think about it, we can just create balls if we want to make him go left and right. That would be one way of doing it. Or we can just come up with some other way to call these. And remember, it's only going to try and move. So if I tell it to try and move down, and it can't, it won't. At the moment, that's the only functionality we've got for movement. It will also be checking about the edge of the screen. Which is that bit there. Not quite sure why we're checking the direction here. Oh, we're loading the direction we've left when we try and move left, which is perfect. But we do need to remember we can't just set the state to be left, because that's the sort of mistake I would make. I'd think, oh, I can just change the state to be left. No, you have to try and move left, and that will change the state for you. Just a little gotcha that I've got to remember again. Should be alright. After we've checked about the screen size, we're moving our target position. It's all the same. We're checking for the desk because it's level 1 specific. We can animate him. So once he's moving, he's going to animate. As far as I can remember. So it is literally a case of, let's just, for a second, let's just pop him. He's got to move up a bit because he's going to be blocked. I think it was 2 cells, which is 48. And I'm going to move him all the way. I can't remember what min X is. I'm going to move him to there though. I could have just wrote min X, which I probably will to demonstrate. But it's 3. But what I should have done was level. Where's level 1? So he can start at min X. And I'm just going to move him. He's just going to try and move right continually, forever. I say I don't like using the mouse and then I'm there copy and pasting all the time, but obviously it's better than typing huge chunks. So as long as he's in the standard state, he's going to try and move right. And let's just be belt and braces, standard. Bob state, standard. And just even, he cannot not be standard. Let's try it. See if he actually animates. I'm a bit worried about the time. Oh, we do it directly from the spectrum clock. He's not moving. That's a shame. Oh, I think we're just not calling his update function. That's all it is. That is all it is. I'm pretty sure that'll be from level 1 update. There's the player update, look. Why not stick to the sort of convention we started and just do it just before the player? Autocomplete knew what I was thinking. It seems as if we're ready to go with that. Let's see if this bugger can move. Oh, straight away we've crashed. Okay, well, here we get to my caveman debugging again. Because the very first thing I do is I just comment that out. So that's still getting called, isn't it? So we're probably still going to crash. And we do. So it's actually nothing to do with his movement, I don't think. Not specifically. Bob update level 1. I've lost where I wrote it. Here. Separate them. I don't know why I linked them. Call level 1 update. That's wrong. That's calling itself. Bob update L1. Yay. Please move, you bald git. Oh, no. Oh, it's undefined. Oh. Well, oh, I have to include each Bob. Forgot about that. You could probably be more sensible and include Bob 1 and Bob 2 only in Bob, and that way some of the renaming issues might not be so bad either. So that's something I'm going to have to explore soon. Because in a decent language, in other language, you would only you include headers only in the file you need them. It's quite weird like that. It used to be a source of much confusion. I quite like the way this does it. Really, this is awesome. Bob L1. Okay, still no good. Oh, reset collisions check Bob is undefined. I've just realised I've tried to move in, but I've also checked the collisions. Thanks, Micro. I've really enjoyed it as well. Thanks, mate. I'll see you very soon. See you another time. I'm going to be always on now, most days. Well, most nights. I think I just discovered a problem and forgot about it. Oh yeah, that was it. I've called try and move, which is in Bob L1, and this checks all the collision. So I need to copy all these and rename them as well. And they're actually in the main player class. Tricky this. The main one we need right now is desks, I think. Just desks. Those desks. There. I'll put it down here. It's slightly changed from how I've laid out the other one, unfortunately. So yeah, there's still more work here because I've got to change that. Yeah, we'll need one of them. Okay, so it's only down here that the player is. It's definitely going to get a bit complicated. What that? Oh, we might have. We do. Check cold desk. Check cold Bob desk. Put one of them. It's a bloody remarkable amount of copy paste. But do you know what I mean? When you see that game, it's quite a lot of progress, even though it seems like we're not making progress sometimes. Need to create that. Just check the player, see how we've done it, try and match it up. Yeah, it's in there, I'll just put it in Bob. Oh, have we got it here already? Yeah, excellent. And like I say, it doesn't collide with those. Oh, I'm in the wrong Bob. So in that move code, oh, it's safe move. We need to copy that. Yeah. I'm an idiot. I should be putting this in Bob really, because that matches the player and it does make a lot more sense that way. That's fine. Bob. Bob safe move to target. Why is only one? Oh, it's in the other one, of course. Changed. Yeah. No, I thought I put it in the wrong file then. The bull. Ah! I could see down there that it was only there that was being affected. Possibly it will work now. When we call move right, it calls that. I am a little bit worried about it calling anim timer. Player anim timer. Skip to next frame. We need all of that. Rightio. Let's do this manually. I'll steal the labels. How many are there? Oh, we don't need to sit. I think I even deleted the attack code from the drawer, but it doesn't matter. Hopefully Bob anim time already exists. Yeah. I'm just going to do it all manually. Let's go. Good. Skip to next frame is not good enough. But yeah, Bob skip to next frame. Just concentrating. Okay. Finally, I think we're there. We just got to go in here and change it to Bob anim timer. So a little look-see. Please move to the right, Mr. Baldy. Ah, no good. 665 of Bob. Bob anim timer. Oh, I see. Yeah, of course. Silly name. That's bugging me up, isn't it? Okay, so there's only 5 references to it in here. Bob do anim timer. All the rest of them are fine, so it's only in here we want to change it to do. Right, maybe this will now compile. Oops, that's not compiled. No, it hasn't. On 600 of Bob. Undefined target position. Really? Ah, nope. Whew. This is a big one. 608 Bob. Oh god. Did I go through this properly then? Kinda looks alright to me. Do you know what? It's weird that capitalization never used to be a problem, but now it is. It's weird. I don't think I even updated the compiler, so I don't know what's going on there. Line 4 of Bob L1. Is that undefined? Yeah. Player. That's simple. The Bob reset positions. Seems better to me at this moment. Alright. I should probably start putting big labels, like something like that, all over the code, for drawing, movement. Maybe it's pointless, but I'll leave it up there for now. I actually think finally it's okay. Let's give it a try. No. Level 1 Bob Speed. Oh god, we've got these minimal little characters. Oh dear. Sure, it never used to make a difference. Capital letters. Well, hey, does he move though? Yes, he does. Spike's messing up though. Convenient that it stopped on the mess up for us. Oh, that's what's happening. Look. Oh, you can't see. Head over heels. No, he's not. Head under heels. That's only on one sprite though. One frame. Wonder why that is. Did I forget to paste one or something? Of course, it's only right, isn't it? It's only going right. That is right, isn't it? 64 bits. Bytes is the right amount, isn't it? They're 32 high, aren't they? Yeah. So just one. Unfortunately, I can't see it very big at all when we don't zoom it, so it's quite hard for me to make out what's happening there. I'm going to zoom it in before I start it a second. It seems like the offset that we increment by is wrong. Maybe we're doing it by the player frame size. How do we do that? It's probably in the drawer. Bob draw. Bob Hope. I mean, we can focus on the right one for now, can't we? Where does it increment? Hang on. I guess it's plus. Oh, that's exactly why, isn't it? Why did I put 48 before? Oh, because it's two lots, so that's 64. So I guess I have to add 48 to that. My brain's so thick. 144. And it's only right, so let's just try that. I think it'll work. That's what you get for using magic numbers. It's still a little bit cocked up. Whoa. So what's happened there is he's moved off to that. But it seems even worse. Is 64 right? I'm sure it is. Or is it just 32 and 64? That seems a bit more logical. Wait, how tall is he? No, he's 30. It was 64, wasn't it? It? 64. See, I think I had it right there. Couldn't we just do... I mean, isn't that what I said for? Is that definitely right? 816. Yeah, it's 32. 64, yeah. Why am I so thick at it? All the simple stuff's what really gets me. It's weird. I mean, that should work. It does. It needs to be odd as well. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I don't know where I got 144 from. I'm really bad with maths, and it's very simple maths. It's what really gets me. I actually was studying some stuff in maths, which was really, really difficult, and I got the hang of it. And then I later found out it was called calculus, and it's really hard to understand. I've forgotten it now, and I've forgotten why I wanted to learn it. It was something about game making there. But I can't add up 8 plus 24 times 2. I'm done for then. So yeah, it works now. I'm using my actual constant. Draw spike 1632. If I really wanted to save processing power, I'd just make this only for Bob, because I'm going to OR it. Let's try and remember how we ORed it. Oh, first make sure you select that only that one. Right, let's do some magic. So load ABC. Load ABC. What's it called? I remember we had to use D. DHL. Oops. Or D. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Okay, that looks good to me. Does he now blend with the background? Yes, he does. Perfect. He's a bit quick for my liking. He moves too fast. But here. Damn, yeah, of course. Of course, I'd have to come up with some sort of other trick, wouldn't I, if I want to move him any slower. So he moves the exact same speed as we do. It's slightly too advanced for me to mess around with his movement speed any lower than 1. We'll just have him stop for breath or something. I'll come up with some timer where he has to stop every 5 seconds for 1 second breath or so. Get around that. Now we've got to come up with some way of AI, some sort of AI. This is actually where it comes in. At the moment, his artificial intelligence tells him just to walk right until he hits a wall and stop. I could then get him to turn round maybe. We've got a direction variable. We should make use of that. So although in the player we set the direction variable when we try to move, perhaps we could have, well, to be nice and easy on ourselves like we like to do here, we could keep all that the same and just have a separate state called like desired direction. You know what I mean? Bob's desires. So we've got his directions, and really what they should be called is like animation directions. Do you know what I mean? They're only there really to set what drawing frame you're on. But I'm happy with them named like that. It's fun, works. This is just ad libbing here, and it might not be a great idea, but what if we had Bob actions? So we'd have to remember that he's still going to make use of this direction just for his animation. And if we want to change his animation, of course, this is going to override it. We're going to have to come up with a way of remembering that, basically, and working around it if we need to. But then if we also had, like, I'm going to prefix it with Bob, because we're going to have more than just Bob. Bob, go up equals 0. Bob, go left. Bob, go right. Bob, go down. I'll move that. I don't like it there, obviously. It didn't matter what order they were in at all, or what number they are. But yeah. See, so that doesn't affect this whatsoever. We've used the same numbers, didn't matter. We'll need to make, for this to work, a Bob go state, let's call it. Bob action state. DB right. No, sorry, no, Bob go right. That's where exactly what I was talking about with the up and down thing. I probably should have been more specific with that name. Because it seems stupid at the time when you've only got that. But look how better it would have been now that we've got more similar things. Alright, so we've done then. So now in Bob's update method, he can be in any movement mode. Let's have a look at them again. I've just closed them. So his direction can be in any direction, and he can be in any state. So we can work out, if we give him a desired state, we can work out by comparing these two if he should change or not, or if he's already in that state. Do you see what I mean? And we could even go as complex as adding timers to that. We've got to try and think of cleverer prompts other than just timers, because timers are boring and they're cumbersome to write anyway, and I find them boring as hell, you know. Obviously we could, there's a collision detection in Bob where when he tries to move it returns if it hits the wall. So for example, we could change that to like hit wall, cool, hit wall, and then we could obviously still return out, but we could do something else between times. So for example, we could just say walk right until you hit a wall, but still that's a little bit boring. I mean, that might be worth doing because it doesn't, if he hits a wall we want him to turn round, so probably it's probably a good shout, but we don't want to always him turn around. He might want to go down. I mean, this is where it gets really, really interesting. We know how to make random numbers. We know how to do comparisons. So we could create a random AI where he hits a wall, randomly chooses a direction, and walks that way. You know, I could do that, I'm sure. But is that good enough? I think I'm going to say yes to that because even if it was a bit boring, where he just constantly walks to find a wall, we'll be able to add further things on top of that, I reckon. And also, at least it's a start. So let me abuse my lungs even further and have one more smoke while I consider the very best way I can think of to start this off. It won't be too long. Just reading and having a good think again. Where do I want to put it? Because like I said, here we check if he hits a wall. There's nothing stopping us here changing that action code wherever it went. Why are all the bobs open again? Go away. Action state. We're really onto something with this. We're going to get some basic AI definitely done before I go off to bed. So yes, I'm going to change the state here and on each one of them, but it's how do I want to handle it here that I'm really worried about. I'm just pausing to have a think, so you won't hear me for a sec because I'm just doing something. Off here. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to check his direction. We'll use the action state, but we'll work on what direction he's already in. Right now, to keep it basic in our game, we know he's going to be going right, so I won't change any of that. And we'll just work on right and get that formula working. So what I want him to do, this is what I'm just dreaming up in my head while I have a quick smoke, is I want him to walk to the right like he already is. I want my update method to check when he hits the wall, pick a random direction, and then go in that direction, of course. So that's what we're trying to do here. As I say, I'll be back in just a minute or two. He reminds me of Basil Fawlty, the way he walks in the restaurant. Don't mention the war. I'm just replaying it a few times because, like I say, I'm just taking a break, but it's better than looking at an empty screen. I keep trying to keep an eye out for what's happening on the screen, get some ideas. I've actually forgotten whether I set up him ready to walk down or whether we've only done right. So I'm going to try and change him. Doesn't matter what direction he's there. So he's facing down. I've forgotten where I told him to move. Oh yeah, it's in his update method. So he walks down. I think we should get the down animation correctly. Oh no, that's wrong. Oh, I remember. I know exactly what's happened. What's wrong with that? Where's the draw code? Here. We want constants in there. All good. He should walk down nicely now, and then I'm having my smoke. Looks pretty good. Okay, so it's looking pretty smart. He stops in the right place because the code was already there to tell it where the minimum is. And as I say, if I just get him to randomly choose a direction when he hits the wall, it's an okay little start, but obviously he'd never be able to get near the middle of the room if that was his only method of transport. We'll have to come up with some way of occasionally breaking him when he gets to the point where there's no desks. So like we'll measure, I think it's at like cell block, character cell 12, for example. There's a gap down the middle. So we'll check when he's at 12, hit a random number. If it's less than X, he'll walk down. So we'll be able to add layers of sort of movement on. He has. Let's watch him one more time. It reminds me of an adventure game a lot, the way he walks. What's going on with that pixel over here? Who left that there? Mikey's still sat down, so it clearly ain't him. Let's get up and give him a quick ass blast. Back, back, back. Just can't resist it. Okay, I've forgotten again what we're doing. Oh, we're doing the movement code. So I haven't got a random number function yet. I'll have to pull that in from my old code, really. Easiest way. But I could just turn him around. Well, firstly, in case anyone's actually watching wondering what I'm doing and is wondering why I've done this, I've now decided not to use this right immediately, and I'll probably change the names of the states to something different. I'll leave it there in case I do want, so if and when I do want to use it, it's there. But what I'll probably do is just change that to walking, attacking, basically what that is. We could have just added further states there, but I'll come up with some good use for that. So it's basically like what we want him to do soon, next, So that's what he is doing. That's what we want him to do next. But maybe I'll have to change the states names. I don't like, maybe it's not just about his movement. But here we're gonna just, it's quite complex, this. The reason being is you've got to remember, we've got to call try move to change the direction he's in, not the other way around. So in other words, that state thing will come in handy immediately. Because we're going left. Well, let's say going right. Because no, going down now we are. So when we hit this, let's just make a function, a routine right now. Bob, hit, bottom. And like I say, I'm gonna not hard code, but I'm gonna brute force each of these edges of the screens with its own version of. I mean, it's AI in a way. Picking a random direction is a form of AI, but that doesn't limit us. We can just do any other movement on top of this. This will just be if he does hit the bottom. But it is getting really late. If I can get him to hit the walls and just pick a random direction, I'll be really happy. And then I'll end it there. But that's going to probably take another half hour or something. Let's give it a try. So instead of ret NC, I do still want to return at that point. So I could either jump from there, which is not a good idea, is it? Or I can push AF, pop AF, return NC, call NC, Bob hit bottom. Right. Let's just return out of that and do nothing. See if it works. It should do. It should just work and not do anything. Hello Fractal, I've just seen your message. Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching, my friend. Thank you very much. And thank you for the comments there. We're going to keep going until we get to some form of playable, releasable sort of game, you know. Fully fledged game. And then whatever space we have left in the program, we'll figure out and put some sort of intro or high scores wonderfulness at the end or something like that as a final bonus. Thank you, man. So am I. I hope I make it to that stage. Certainly got lots of energy left for this. I mean, in the long run, I mean, not tonight, but. So Bob hits bottom. Oh yeah, I was just going to compile it just to check it works, the structure. And nothing breaks. Seems fine. Brilliant. So, seems alright to me. He didn't just carry on moving. Here's where we want to call create a random direction. And conveniently, the directions are all 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can use our random function. The bit I'm worried about is you have to do an or instruction on it, and that can get weird when you only want to do it between 0 and a small number. I remember it was hard to limit it to that, and I can't remember how I got around that either. But what I might do to get around it is just say, is it smaller than, I mean, if he's hit the bottom, he can either go left or right or up, can't he? So there is three different options. So I might just do like, if it's smaller than X, go there. or something like that. But that sounds a bit messy actually now. But I'd much rather somehow convert the random number into 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, or 0, 1, 2 or 3. Of course, it can't be down again, so it's only, we can hard code it as well, which is great. We don't have to do any sort of maths to figure this out. We can just say it can't be 1. Even if it got 1, it would just try again the very next frame until it found a number that it could use. I've definitely not got that random. Oh, random numbers, excellent. It's there. And 31. Oh, that's just keeping it within a certain bit of memory. That just needs to stay there. Keep within first 8k of memory. I remember the actual page in the book I learned it from. That's why I know it's 8k. It's called get random, yeah? Yeah. I remember get random actually. You don't load A or anything with get random. It just does that for you. So A is now a random number. Is it or and? I'm so confused with it. I believe it's or. No, it's and, isn't it? Yeah, it's and. And then I can do 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Here's the tricky bit. Well, funny enough, I don't want it to be 1. But I want it to be a maximum of 2. So I think that's no good what I've just done. No, I want it to be a maximum of 3. So that we can still have right. So I want it to be either 0, 2 or 3. Now, I've just thought of a clever way around that. And that would be to say if it's 1, we don't want it to be 1, right? Which is down. If it is that, call it self. Let's jump to it. So now we don't need to worry about masking out 1. So actually, that's going to be great. That's going to give us a value between 0 and 3. Only them 2 bits could possibly be a 1 out of this random number. If it happens to be the same as down, which is 1, we're going to go back and just try again. And if it isn't 1, We just want to set its new direction, but it's not. We could just try and move. Oh, so we need a comparison. So here's where it gets a little tiny bit clunky. Again, where I'm just repeating code. Why did I think the flags was going to be set already? Yeah, it will. A. We're comparing A to 0. We're comparing A to up. And if it is, we just Bob try and move up. Oh, cool, Bob. This is going to take shape. Well, no, it's not down. Should be good. Let's try it. Here needs to sort out. No, it doesn't. We've done it. Oh, it's failed. It's quite funny. I wonder why that's happening. Is it because of where we're calling that from? Funny how it always went right as well. I see. If we shift him up, if we shift him up 4 pixels, once we've got that number. Can you do that? Let's just try it. Because I think it was just getting called over and over again because he was still in the same Y position. Sugar, what have I done here? Damn, so you can't do that. We could. Try that. Oh, probably need to do that. Oh no. Why my brain's not working? I can't. Why couldn't I figure out how to decrease it by a certain value? with A. I thought it was an easy enough task. But 1 pixel might be enough. No, just have interest. He doesn't move up. See what happens now. He still doesn't move up. That's a bit weird. Yeah, he does change position, like direction for a second. Bob hit bottom. See, I feel like that's the problem. It hits max Y. It calls that. It tries to move. Actually, it should be alright though, shouldn't it? 'Cause let's say it tries to move right, which it looks like it's trying to do. That only checks X. So something else is happening. Could be this. I guess we don't even need that actually. If he tries to walk down, it just will happen again next frame. This. Weird. I'm pretty sure that's okay. I mean, let's just say for a second then, when you hit the bottom, go right. It worked. So is it something to do with get random then? Yeah, see, that's what it is. It's still on that level, so it just picks another random direction. It seems to always pick up and down. Well, it can't even go down then. Obviously, this ain't gonna work now. No. Get random. Why is that a problem? I just wonder why we can't move it up a bit. We should be able to just directly move the position. Bob X and Bob Y. It's odd that you can't. See if I can quickly do is decrease again. Waiting ages while it loads. So the only way really is using another register. Right. If he doesn't move up from that, I don't know what to do. I'll probably give up for the night. It seems like what he should do when he hits the bottom is jump up by a whole cell and then pick a direction. If it doesn't work, I'm going to set him to just going right so it works. Doesn't work. I'm going to delete it all and just set. I'm going to write a big to do here. To do. Fix AI movement. Because this proves that you can just call that function from there and it works. So I'll just tell it to go right when it hits the bottom. And it should work fine. Yeah. But we need to be able to pick a random direction really. Don't know what I was doing wrong. Maybe we'll get that first time when we write it tomorrow. That's what tends to happen sometimes. Oh god, yeah. I'm a bit tired. I think I've done a good 9 or 10 hours stream today in total. But I've enjoyed most minutes of it because we've made lots of progress. There's been some long pause and fails that we have had to overcome as usual. But there's a lot of progress in most videos if you look, especially if you look from five vids ago. Yeah, thanks, Moz. It really is. It always seems to be a big stumbling block, but we are making loads of progress. I think by next week, when my day's off again next week, obviously we'll have done some late night coding in between. What will we'll be adding? Once we've got this teacher, he's the only one that throws anything at you. And then you've got Taphead, who's much like the teacher without throwing, and the cleaner. Yeah, exactly, Moz. And I've enjoyed every second of it, yeah. It's flown by, in fact, I can't believe what the time is. I thought it was only maybe 2:30 or something. Yeah, superb. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I know there's been quite a few now, 2 or 3 extra viewers recently, so thanks to all of you. And oh yeah, Dan Dazzle as well with a quick follow earlier. Gonna be loads more videos. Obviously not today, not tomorrow, unless it's a gaming one in the day. Very doubtful I'll do coding. Maybe a very short one. There will be in the night, no doubt. Yeah, I'll get off now. It's getting late. Look after yourselves, everyone. I'm gonna go get some rest. I'll speak to you again soon.